the femininity of life and the receptive quality of attracting, being very diplomatic, being very beautiful, very charming, very prestige. What if that was thrown out the window? And what if you have someone who is very wild, someone who is very impulsive, someone who wants to initiate and be the leader? Well, that is exactly who a Venus and Aries person appears and comes off to be. In this video, I'm going to be discussing all the characteristics and traits of Venus, the planet of love, value, relationship, money, pleasure, in the first sign of the zodiac, Aries. So, Venus and Aries. Astrologers do say that Venus and Aries is detriment. Because what is Venus? It is cooperative. It is wanting things to be beautiful. It is about peace and harmony in relationship and the importance of working together. But what is Aries? It's feisty, it's fiery, it wants to go its own way, it wants to follow its own path. And so Venus is acting in a way that she normally doesn't do. She's acting in a different way. Venus in Aries is not your typical Venus placement, and they don't express Venusian qualities in typical ways. Venus and Aries people want to chase after. If you have this placement natally, you are one of the ones who chase after what you find attractive, whom you find attractive. Finding person in the world that you're drawn to and putting a target on them and going full speed gecko in that direction. And when you do go in that direction, you find that more doors open up to you because you followed your heart's desires. So, the objective for this placement is the willingness and the confidence that you need to chase after who attracts you. You know what you want, you know what you value, you know what you desire, and you're willing to go after it. And that is very, um, that could be said for all Aryan placements. However, this one is in relationships and in love, matters of the heart. Another trait with this placement is the need for sovereignty, the very, very strong need to go your own way, to be an independent force, an independent spirit. You know exactly what you want, you know exactly how to get it, and you will go in that direction wholeheartedly on full force, full gecko, going in that direction. They are if you have this placement, you are someone who's very passionate in your nature. You enjoy the chase. You enjoy chasing down your desires. You enjoy the thrill and the adrenaline and the excitement that it brings you. You enjoy being active, going after what you desire. That could be said very, very strongly. Is a need and an enjoyment, a pleasure, to go after whom you desire and what you desire. If you have Venus in Aries, you are unapologetic in how you express yourself, what you want, and how you're getting it. And you are a very, very strong person. Very strong physically, very strong verbally, very strong mentally. You may be perceived as being pointy, or ruffian, or regurfian, or very aggressive. You may be perceived as being too aggressive, too assertive, too willing to make waves, too willing to stir up the pot. Um, so this aggressiveness can really catch people off guard and it can make you unliked in the eyes of others if you don't use the high road of this Aries energy. You're courageous in your nature, you seek strength, you want strength, and you want people in your relationship that are very, very confident. They are go-getters, they're initiators, they're very, very strong, very powerful forces to be reckoned with type of people. That's whom you're attracted to. You can be very, very enthusiastic. That can be a quality with this placement as well as a very, very high static for enthusiasm. So you, as a person, are seeking very strong people. You're very enthusiastic. You just chase things, for the thrill of it. You just chase it for that kind of reason. You're also a very, very big risk taker. That could be said very, very easily about you. You like to take risks. And you may strive for something, you may want something very, very badly, but then when you get it, you easily grow bored of it and you want to move on to something else. So that could be said very, very easily about you. Um, you want to move on in a type of way. You need to be independent, but also you need to, you tend to, when you get money, you tend to spend it all very, very easily. But, blowing paychecks, blowing the amounts that you receive, even that you work for, or inheritances, on the things that you're attracted to, on the things that you value and want. Even if you cannot afford it, you will spend the money because you're so willing to get what you want. Um, and so you are all about self-love. That is a higher displacement, is learning to respect and love yourself in a healthy way. And you may be very egoic, very, very egotistic, very, you can also be very arrogant at times, which you may want to keep in mind for that very, very easily. Is this need to become just very radiant in your wayfaring. And so you may be self-centered in a relationship, which is not Venus's normal way. Venus is a very selfless position, very feminine. Aries is masculine, Aries is fire. Aries is, you have we and you flip the W around and it creates me. So that's the focus here. At the low road, you may disregard the needs of others. That is probably a low road. Is because you're so self-focused, because you have your own goals and you're focused in your goals, in achieving all of those goals that you make for yourself that you want. You disregard others' wants, others' needs, and you may trample over the boundaries of others to get what you want. So it's important to step back and observe and be obedient to your highest good. Is what I am doing and saying for the highest good of the all? And if it's not for your highest good, then you should not go in that direction. So you want to be the leader in your life. You want to be at the driver's seat. There is this need for this placement to be When it comes to relationship, you want to be in control of it. You want to be the leader of relationship. Um, Relationship is a battle. It's a competition, and you want to win the other over. You want to be the one in control. You want to be the one that, where the buck stops at me, I have the final say. And the low road, if I didn't already mention it before, is my way or the highway. That kind of attitude isn't the best for relationship. My way or the highway. That's what this placement is about. Libra, which is the opposite sign of Aries, which Venus rules Libra, can really teach Aries a lot about relationship, collaboration, all the Libran themes that the Aries needs to evolve into being and become the highest expression of itself. You're about taking initiative in relationships. You're very, very good at making the first move. Um, you can be very confident. You can also be very direct. You can be straightforward into what direction you're going in and what you're saying and what you're doing. Um, and patience is another low road, is that you're not very patient. You're not willing to wait for things. You want instant gratification. You want to get that thing as fast as humanly possible to get it. You're not very good at the act of patience, which the next sign to Aries is Taurus, and Taurus is incredibly patient. It understands that things take time. And a Venus in Aries, in some way or another, will learn this in their life that they can't have everything all at once. Delayed gratification, waiting for things, waiting for your strong desires to be achieved, is something a benefit to them. So you may be very, very excited, and the thrill makes you feel alive. The thrill in relationships really makes you alive. Where the relationship is boring and unfulfilling, get out of it. Try something new. You're very magnetic. You're very lively. You love the chase, the wanting to be desired and considered and acknowledged. You want others to desire you, others to want you. You want others to value you, especially for asserting your own needs and wants. So you are a big spender with your money, as I said before. Your impulsive nature can be where you're acting out of impulse. You're not thinking about the consequences of your actions. You're taking a risk, you're making a move impulsively without thinking twice. You know, one example of this is, deleting a lot of valuable videos. And those videos, you didn't think about, oh, well, maybe I would want to keep those. Instead, you just very, very impulsive and you just delete a whole channel of videos that you put your heart into because of an impulsive decision to delete them. Or what if you launch a business without thinking through all of the logistics and then it just fails and then it takes a while to get off the ground, whatever the negative ramification of what that is. So those are examples of how you can act out of impulse. It's where you go at a red light or you cross the street when there's a car coming. This kind of thing. And so the things that you want to spend your money on, because Venus is how we spend our money. Venus is the money planet. Venus rules over money. The second house, Taurus, that kind of thing. So Taurus is part of Venusian qualities. So you'd rather spend your money on grand adventures that can make wonderful memories in your life. During chases, anything that is fire in areas you're willing to chase after. So, Give and take is important relationship to consider. Cooperation is important to consider. You attract others through you being independent. The more you are independent, the more you are a pioneer, you possess an entrepreneurial spirit, the more people will be drawn to you. That's how this placement works. The people that you want to be around are very self-confident people, very, very self-confident in the way that they go along their life. And so one of the lessons that Venus and Aries is learning also, I just want to throw this in, this is just what I'm getting intuitively, is to be true to themselves, to not deceive themselves in their mind, to not lie to themselves that, oh, I can wait on this, when really you can't wait on this, and being true to yourself, you're going to get it when you're going to get it. You just know. And when you know at a soul level, not just an ego level, but a soul level, deep down, you know that you cannot wait in this thing. So lying to yourself and saying, I'm going to order this instead, or I'm going to wait on this thing, is not being true to yourself. I have found that when I lie to myself, it doesn't last long. It feels delicious, but it doesn't last. And I always, 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 always go back to this is my truth. This is what is on my mind. Darn it, this is what I'm going to do. This is the direction that I'm going to go in. And that is being true to yourself. And that's one of the lessons that Venus and Aries is learning is being true to themselves in the relationships that they put themselves into. That are these relationships going to align with my needs, wants, and desires? So, as I said, you want to be around strong, confident people who have a strong sense of self. You're attracted to assertive and ambitious individuals who are firing and passionate. Your relationships need to feel exciting and stimulating. Um, Now, if you're picturing going into a mall and you have all the 12 zodiac signs with their different areas of entertainment, Venus and Aries is going to hit the gym. Venus and Aries is going to go to the weight room because there is a love for the beauty of strong masculine physical exercise, and those two words together do seem like a dichotomy to put them together. Like it's a juxtaposition to put beauty and art in with physical exercise and masculinity. That's what they find beautiful. That's what they find attractive. Venus and Virgo would also be attracted to a physical exercise room because Virgo is about health, physical health. So that could also be very, very thing. And Venus, um, you know, you know, astrologers say that Venus is considered fall in Virgo because Virgo is very, very discerning and discriminating, and Venus is very open, loving, all the kind of thing like that. So Venus in Aries and Venus in Virgo can bond in the way of being attracted to anything that can boost your physical health. Aries does it more for the thrill of it, more for the excitement of it. Virgo does it for the functionality of it, for the humble need to serve the self, to really be practical about taking care of your physical body. So while they approach this in different ways, they're very, very similar in that way. Um, they can be very playful, very spontaneous people, Venus and Aries. Your love life is very ferocious. You want love so badly and quite a bit. You understand the differences. So it's very, very important for you to understand what is desire and what is love. And those two things can differentiate themselves. They can be interlinked, but sometimes they differentiate themselves. And so discernment of that is very, very critical. You may have a short fuse with this placement in a relationship. Somebody says something, somebody does something, and you express it openly because you're so frustrated at it, because you're PO'd about it, because you're annoyed about it. Um, if I didn't say this before, you're very direct, you're very straightforward. You can easily let others know how much you love them by showing them, um, being willing to let them know how much you love them and why you love them. You want to be in control in relationships. So there's a very, very strong need here to be in control. The one in control. Um, you're very, very good at fighting for love or for your lover. You're very, very good at that. Wanting to fight that kind of way. Um, very, very easily. So, you're willing to fight for people that you value. Um, so you may be interested in the people that are hard to get, hard to make love, hard to approach, because it gives you a challenge, it gives you a chase that you can go after. You may be argumentative and unafraid of conflict. You may be very, very combative. You may become jealous very easily if the partner is with someone else. That jealousy can really, really interfere with your happiness. Because that jealousy of I'm in this relationship, but I'm with a partner who goes out and has these affairs, these connections with another person, and then I'm jealous of it. So they want to be top priority in relationships. They want the passion to be kept alive in relationships. Otherwise, they probably will move on to another type of relationship. They're relationship hoppers, or they're in one relationship. It's exciting, it dies out in another relationship. And the same thing happens again and again and again. So that's something that they're learning to work through in this life. Um, and when they express their feelings, there's an energetic quality to them expressing their feelings, and they're very open, and they will express their feelings. If they love you, they'll express it. If you take them up, they'll express it. So that is the final end truth. Okay, everybody, that is the video on Venus and Aries in the birth chart. Tune in for the next video in the series, which will be on Venus in its home domicile sign of Taurus, with the focus is on enjoying all five pleasures and the real sensuality of love with another person. So tune in for that video coming up tomorrow or the next day or the next day after that, sometime, around that time period. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel, do all the things. I really appreciate it. I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.